Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Time to believe all women. It's time to believe Amber Turd. Would you believe it or not? Ha! I wouldn't. This is an interesting article courtesy of Vogue. I thought we would take a look at it. It's been posted online everywhere because, of course, people apparently still read Vogue. Didn't think that was still a thing, but apparently they do. This is a very interesting article. It seems to be essentially exactly the same rhetoric from most individuals that are now, I stand with Amber Heard. Now, FYI, I've got no issues with you standing with Amber Heard, but at least acknowledge that you haven't bothered to watch the trial and you haven't bothered to look at the evidence. Because loads of these individuals tend to reference the Sun and they're like, he's already been convicted. He's not been convicted. Idiot. You didn't even watch that trial, did you? That was a defamation trial with the Sun. So let's take a look. Because no, it is not time to believe all women at all. We must practice critical thought over all of this. And one question I always love asking these individuals that are just firmly devout, believe all women, believe Amber Heard. If there was an audio recording with Johnny Depp saying, I wasn't punching you, I hit you with a closed fist, and I can't guarantee I won't hit you again, or I can't guarantee it won't get physical, would you be thinking the same stuff? Would you be like, is your mindset the same? Because this is evidence that loads of these individuals seem to just overlook when it comes to Amber Heard. But if there was audio to that effect with Johnny Depp, I think you'd be crying more than just a river. All right, it'd be the River Nile coming down here. So let's take a look at this article because it is very, very comical. Why it's time to believe Amber Heard. So let's check this out, shall we? Where to begin with the online cesspit that is Depp versus Heard? I don't view it as a cesspit. I think actually, more than anything, what we're seeing here is a fantastic, a community of individuals not only scouring through evidence. I mean, this stuff has long been, online, the likes of Incredibly Average. He compiled lots and lots of evidence, for along the lines that the Sun trial was going through and stuff like this. But we're seeing a very good community come together, and regardless of if Johnny Depp wins this or not, I think he will take some solace in the fact that he'll come out the back end of this going, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of people that actually support me and like me. And I think that's important as well. So cesspit, no, firmly disagree with that characterization, as Amber Heard would have said it, and as she had said that before in trial. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you'll know that the ex-spouses are back in court. So we know that Johnny Depp is seeking damages of $50 million after Amber Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post in 2018 in which she spoke of being a victim of domestic abuse, without ever explicitly naming Depp. No, but in Virginia case law, there's a precedent for, defamation by sort of implication. And the implication is, of course, she was talking about Depp. The minutiae being combed through at the trial has come to feel less like a lawsuit and more like a torturous exorcism of the past. A thorough and painful raking over the coals of their 4-year entanglement. Isn't it weird that we sort of simplify relationships to entanglements nowadays? Is that what we call them? That's gross. The details of both Depp and Heard's testimonies are harrowing all by themselves, gruesome, violent, and containing deeply intimate anecdotes about their relationship. Broadly speaking, witness testimonies can be persuasive, and with the two actors in the dock, we can never be sure of the absolute truth. No, true, but I mean, one definitely appears to be acting, the other definitely does not. Still, despite the fact that London's High Court previously found allegations of Depp, the thing about that, I don't even need to go into it. There is, a conflict of interest with respect to that judge and the Sun and things like that. So we're not going to get into that. However, Vogue seems to be massively salty because the internet appears to have overwhelmingly picked Depp's side. Last week, justice for Johnny Depp was trending on Twitter. Yesterday, it was Amber Heard. Well, you know why it was, don't you? Because that boss of a lawyer decided to say it in court, which 3 times, no less. What a legend. Go on social media and the anti-Heard sentiment is palpable. The memes have been ferocious. Yeah, well, look, you know, when your dog steps on a bee, you know, you're going to do stuff like that, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? The memes are going to be there. Sometimes consisting of a spot the difference comparison with domestic abuse victims. At other times, televised courtroom footage has been appropriated to openly mock her appearance. I mean, she literally dressed like Dr. Evil one day, so yeah, or Kim Jong-un. So yeah, I think we can rightfully mock those elements and, you know, meme it because it is comedic. But remember this whole thing here, they started off with go on social media and the anti-herd sentiment is palpable. They then start their next, well, they close it by saying it is plain misogyny. Do you mind telling that to all the women that think Amber Heard's an absolute dipshit and a liar? Are you going to tell that to all the women? Because that's not, what is that, like repressed, internalized misogyny? Is that how people frame it now to get around the nonsense logic that they seem to have? What a garbage statement. The company behind the makeup compact Heard used to hide her bruises even made a TikTok disputing her claims. It literally wasn't even in circulation at the point. So it's not... Has Vogue even done their research here? Oh my god. Heard is being systematically jeered at and ridiculed like a medieval criminal in the stocks as she catalogues historic abuse as she alleges being, you know, raped. You know, it rhymes with ape, but I can't say it. Have we completely lost track of the severity of these allegations? No. No. We understand the severity of the allegations, but the thing is that there's no evidence, and all evidence points to the contrary. If you turn up, someone's dead on the floor and someone's holding a knife, you're probably going to think it's that person holding the knife, aren't you? Right? But if you turn up, someone's dead on the floor, there's a knife on the floor, someone's ran off, you're not going to think it's the person that's left there, are you? Because there's no evidence. I mean, that's a terrible example, but there's no evidence. So yes, we understand the severity of the allegations. Most people think it's absolutely disgusting that these allegations have been made because they are so severe without any evidence. No, you shouldn't just believe all women. We all understand that Depp fans will side with Depp. I'm not even a Depp fan. I don't care about Johnny Depp. I think he was very good in some things that he's done. I'm not going to call me a fan. I just think this is a very important case. And, you know, I think he's a very likeable guy on the stand. I thought he was very likeable. Very sincere. Very authentic. But even the less aggressively Depp-pilled of us want to believe that the Caribbean Pirates is blameless, if not squeaky clean. Now, this is the thing. What people don't seem to understand is he's literally admitted to his issues, whereas Amber Heard hasn't. And the problem is people are very inauthentic if they're not admitting to any fault at all. And she's literally made herself out to be an angel. That's not believable, because no shit, Sherlock, we're all human. And most people acknowledge that and go, yeah, well, I've got problems as well. So anyway, we continue, because it gets better. I don't want to think about what this is saying to victims of abuse who are considering coming forward. Right, of course, guilt. That's right, we need to guilt everyone. And regardless of what Heard did or didn't suffer at the hands of Depp, no, that's literally what it's all about. Isn't the relentless memeing of her a form of violence in itself? Nope. That is not violence, you absolute idiots. Is the pummeling by social media not a type of psychological assault? No. You could say it's, I don't know, a form of I mean, it's not though, is it? It's not psychological. It has psychological impacts, but the implication is more of an observation than anything else. But to say that it's violence, you're losing the plot. Are we not witnessing a modern day witch trial? What? I mean, maybe she shouldn't act like a witch throwing around allegations without evidence. Isn't that what witch hunters did? Isn't that what she's being, basically? That's what she wanted to have thrown at Depp. Anyway, some weeks the internet is buoyant, all of us kept afloat by daft dresses and Kardashian weddings and Marvel actors saying they've never been in the same room. Other weeks it just feels too heavy. We're watching people actively seek out humour in domestic abuse as Roe v. Wade is terrorised by pro-lifers, and as we see yet more episodes of racially aggravated violence, we'll rally. We always rally, but right here, right now, it feels, oh my god, this is Vogue. Vogue has fallen apart. I mean, this is just nonsense. What the hell has Roe v. Wade got to do with anything? What has racially aggravated violence got to do with Depp and Heard? They're not. What? These people are so tribalistic. This is how you know that Vogue has politicised this trial, because they're putting Heard and what she claims to have gone it through in the same sort of bracket and tribalistic element for support as racially aggravated violence and Roe v. Wade. I mean, that's total bollocks. This is not a politicised situation. It doesn't have to be politicised. All this is a case of one man, seemingly from evidence, being wrongfully accused and wrongfully ruined in public, now finally getting, you know, what he deserves, which is a bit of justice, at least in the court of public opinion. But no, apparently you need to support Heard because you don't support racially aggravated violence. Lunacy. What absolute lunacy is this? Total pile of nonsense. Anyway, I spent a lot of time wondering if everyone's lost the plot. That's what I was thinking when I was reading this. If the erosion of empathy we see online has rendered us so inherently unkind as a species that there's no return. No. I don't want to despair for humanity. Oh, God. Drama queen. I want to believe that some of us are offline and mildly compassionate, or compassionate in a way that doesn't get tweeted about. That you're all out there being nice to each other, and I'm reporting on a tiny cluster of internet users with pitchforks. This entire article is predicated on the fact that Amber Heard is actually in the right. I mean, egg on your face, love. Evidence points to the contrary. Though I felt myself veering towards it, I can no longer both sides this. It's time to draw a line. It's time to believe women. All women. No, dickhead. That's terrible. What it's time, funnily enough, to do is practice common sense and critical thought, which we should have done at the start. Oh, okay, so you're accusing Johnny Depp. Perfect. Do you have any evidence of that? Yes? No? Okay, let's actually have a look at this then. Not just believe all women. Nonsense. This, ladies and gents, is when you absolutely know that this movement of just believe all women randomly is falling apart on its face, when they have to smash out in a Vogue article of all things, a Vogue article. Believe women, believe all women. No. Time to practice critical thought. Anyone can abuse anyone. It doesn't matter whether you've got a vajayjay or a PP. Alright? Anyone can be abused. Anyone can be an abuser. And what you must do is analyse all elements and consider the facts. And consider the facts presented. And the evidence presented correspondent to stories. And unfortunately, everyone that has testified in this particular case has testified in such a way, and the evidence is indicative of this as well, that Amber Heard might be making it up. She might be what we call in Britain a Billy Bullshitter. I'm sure that's fairly universal, but got to throw in, a Britishism somewhere in there. Anyway, it's time to believe Heard. The British courts believe Depp beat his ex-wife. What's stopping the rest of us? Well, they also thought that Amber Heard donated $7 million to charity, but funnily enough, we found out that was bollocks too.